Listen, Mrs. F., if you're really stuck, I'll be glad to find something else.
Find something else? What's he talking about?
The dinner party. Several of the guests don't care for shellfish.
If you ask me, with all you've got on your mind, I think you're crazy to fool around with some dinner party when there's no special occasion. Well, I mean, such as an anniversary or even a birthday.
Oh, I know. But these days, I get to spend so little time with my old friends up here.
Good evening. Start all over.
That's again. All right. I got it, Sean. Good evening. Welcome to another episode of the Cabot Cove Confab. This is Steve.
And this is Sean. So, the reason that Steve just called the podcast the Cabot Cove Confidential is because earlier today when I was out eating Chinese food, not a Chinese buffet, but regular Chinese food, I get a text from him. It's a screenshot from Reddit, and it where someone posted, what was it that they said? I don't remember.
If you haven't listened to this Murder, She Wrote podcast, recommend it or something like that. And the funny thing is, I put in the search, Cabot Cove Confab in the search, but that was the first thing that came up for my search. And so I'm just reading through it quickly, and I thought, oh, it's someone talking about the show, but no, they're talking about another podcast that's very similar in name to ours.
I have to admit, I'm guilty. I have not listened to a lot of the other Murder, She Wrote podcasts because they cover episodes that we have not covered yet, and I don't want to spoil it. And I'd be perfect. I have listened to, I think it was the Cabot Cove Confidential. They did Northern Exposure. Remember that one?
Yep.
Yeah, they did that.
They liked it or something?
And, yeah.
Oh, no, they hated it. They hated it. I think was what you said.
No, they didn't. They were kind of okay on it.
So let's move on to the fan favorite part of the podcast, the
pre-show banter.
Do we have a little theme song?
Yeah,
for that?
This is it right here. Pre-show
That's horrible.
banter.
That's horrible.
Well, thank you.
So I want to start today by just saying, I'm sick, and I've been popped up on cold and sinus, Advil, and vodka.
Okay.
So this episode may get a little strange for me. If I sound a little congested,
How is that different from any other episode, sir?
I don't know. Good point.
So we have actually not spoken. We have not.
I know. What's your name again?
Yeah. we haven't spoken for like 2 or 3 weeks because we both had things going on. I went on vacation. You had an anniversary. Congratulations. I don't even know what it was.
Thank you.
But I want to tell you, I have a story for you. So we went on vacation.
Oh, story
We
time.
went to Portland, which is a great city. Powell's Books, to die for, great. And then we went to San Diego. Now, San Diego boasts the most haunted house in America. Okay?
Really?
And that's called the Whaley House. And it's in kind of a touristy section of San Diego with some really cool, great restaurants and, gift shops and shit like that. It looks a little bit like Cabot Cove. What?
For the readers, how do you spell that?
Whaley is
Whaley?
Whaley. Or for you, you mean, because you're looking it up right now. Whaley House.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm like, oh my god, I don't get to plan anything on these trips. So I'm like, oh my god, we got to go there. I looked it up. It's $18 per person. Oh yeah, sure, no problem.
$18.
Yeah, $18 a person. And so it's an old-timey house. They have a courtroom in it because it kind of doubled as a general store and courtroom at one point. And they also have a stage in there upstairs. Small stage, but yeah. And I'm like, okay, this is the most haunted house in America. I really need to see this, okay? So we...
Wow, yeah, and the courtroom, that looks really neat. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and so the courtroom... well, let me... anyway. So we went on this tour, and I'm like, okay, they have the tours at night after the house itself closes, because it's like a museum during the day, and then at night you can take ghost tours. And I was told we are not going there at dark because it will be too scary. I think somebody thought that there would be like people in costumes popping out, like a
ghosts. Sorry,
but so we went there at 5:00, which was not after dark. It was perfectly lit out. So this tour was basically about half an hour. The guy took us through each room and told us, the history of the house, and it really pissed us off because there was no. I mean, I'm not expecting to see ghosts, but he didn't talk.
You were just 1 star. No ghosts. Disappointed.
Yeah, I know. But he didn't talk about the ghosts. I mean, it's like he just like 95% of the tour was just the history of the house. Like, that's great. I could learn that by going here during the daytime and visiting the house. I want to hear about, and then, he mentioned off the cuff, like, oh, the stage. That's where I had my own personal experience. Now, let's go downstairs. Sir, I want to hear about your personal experience. And I did. I pulled him aside, and I said, could you tell me, well, everybody was going downstairs. We took a short break, and he was standing to the side, and I went up to him. I said, could you tell, what's your personal experience? And I'm amazed that I think I might be the only person that asked him. He said he was doing the tour one time, and he was in the stage room, and I call it the stage room. They call it a theater, but it is a really small room, and it has a stage on it. And he was up there doing a speech, and he felt like somebody was up there next to him. And apparently there was a lady that was quote-unquote sensitive who told him, yes, there was somebody up there with him. And he also heard coughing in a room that was completely empty. And, I want to know this shit. I mean, I don't care about old man Whaley and his, So we were very disappointed, and I took to Yelp.
Oh.
Yeah, no.
You didn't. You didn't.
No, I didn't, but I looked at Yelp. And one person complained that the ghost tour was hokey, and they kind of laid it on a bit heavy about it being haunted. I'm like, no, they didn't at all. But the other problem was that there were 15 people in our group. Like, when I go on something called a ghost tour, I think there should...
you want to hear.
Yeah, I think there should only be 5 people. That's a little bit more And I've been on one that was excellent many, many years ago, Fort Henry in Canada, near Niagara Falls, that was about an hour and a half long. I think there were only maybe 8 or 9 of us, and it was so much fun. It was absolutely chilling. It was pitch dark. I would love to have gone on something like that. But no, this was ridiculous. So yeah, that's my story of the most haunted house in America. And it doesn't help when you go to the house, and it looks old-timey,
Yeah.
And on the side of the house, they have painted Whaley House, the most haunted house in America. Please, whatever. Why don't you just sell popcorn? This is so commercial. F. That's what I think about that.
F. It wasn't haunted enough where you experienced anything.
Oh, trust me. I would.
If it's the most haunted house, you would expect, I don't know. Cold breeze on your neck, or
yeah. But okay. I've got another story for you, Steve. Unless you have a story now that you want to share with the readers.
Well, yeah, I kind of want to counter
that.
I didn't really have anything to discuss today. I was just going to listen to you, ramble. But you actually reminded me of something on Netflix. There was a show that my wife said I might be interested in because I do like paranormal stuff. Though I like to think that I'm more of a skeptical believer. And this show specifically really kind of bothered me.
Okay.
It's called Life After Death with Tyler Henry.
Wait, I know that name.
It's this teenage kid.
Okay,
He's a little. he's like the Long Island medium, crossed with I don't know, some pop singer like Justin Bieber or something. It's stupid. And it's just when watching it, it was so bad. It's so bad. I don't blame people who don't believe in the afterlife or ghosts, because when you see shit like that, it would turn me off if that was my only experience.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when we went to some con many years ago when we went to a ghost panel, and it was at a sci-fi convention, but they had a ghost panel we both went to, and it was so hokey. It was so hokey.
That. I remember.
Did you?
I remember. I've done it twice. The first time I went was with you and Paul from the Ferris Project.
Paul Heath.
Yeah, Paul.
Yeah, Paul Heath,
and you guys walked out, and I stayed. But there were the.
No. He walked out with somebody else. Okay. I stayed with you, but I was like, "This is dunkulous." Whatever.
Was it the guy with the dowsing rods? Did he have dowsing rods?
I think so.
Okay, because there was one guy.
I mean, we're talking like over 10 years ago.
He read my aura, and he said it was purple, and I must be a teacher. And he had dowsing rods that went crazy when he came near me, and he like pointed me, picked me out from the crowd. But okay, all right. I don't know. I'll take whatever I can get.
Maybe he was flirting with you.
No. But the programs that they on the History Channel and the Discovery Channel, a lot of it is just bullshit. And that includes the Bigfoot ones. My God. If you want to hate these Bigfoot people, watch the Bigfoot shows. And, I'm going to be completely honest, though. I've been doing a lot of research and reading into Bigfoot, and I'm like, shit, I think there might be actually a Bigfoot, because the number of... the number of...
I think there is. Yeah. But I still have a lot of questions that are still not answered that I find very confusing about the phenomenon. But I'm also the kind of
phenomenon.
But I'm also the kind of person I don't think like believe in the Loch Ness monster. I think that's probably a large eel of some sort. I think there's probably a perfectly reasonable explanation to that. A lot of the paranormal stuff I think is just misidentification, but I do feel there's a small percentage that is real. But it's so difficult to weed out and to try to figure it out, because you've got shows like you just mentioned that really dilute anything that can be passable as real. It's so hard. I'm not a 100% believer, but I'm also not so open-minded that my brains are going to fall out either.
Yeah, a lot of by the way, speaking of the Whaley House, if you want to see an interesting video about that, go to YouTube and look up the video that BuzzFeed did about it, where there was these two guys. One,
I hate those guys.
You know who I'm talking about? Yeah, they.
I hate this. One guy I don't mind. The other one who's the total skeptic. He is. I hate him so much. He's so annoying.
Yeah. So I have another story I want to share with you and the readers, Steve. Jesus.
Oh, will you edit those out?
Why do you sound like?
Will you edit? Will you edit those out? I know you're not. You're not going to edit
those,
are you?
Why do you sound like an old man when you blow your nose? You sound like you have got your handkerchief and you're
it's like a water faucet, Sean.
Okay.
I am. Right. Don't make fun of me.
That's my
sick.
That was my stage name, Water Faucet.
What?
Anyway, stage name, Water Faucet. Put the math together, sir.
Never mind. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So last night I had a murder. I did a murder mystery party. And
thanks for clarifying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had to drive. I didn't want to do it. Like I was just so I haven't had a murder mystery party in a long time, and I followed the directions. It was in a place called Buchanan Dam, Texas, which is by Buchanan Lake, which is a place that's an hour away from here that I have never been before and didn't want to go to. So I'm driving there, and I'm about 1 mile away from my destination. And I drive into a little town called Kingsland, Texas. and I think to myself, wait a minute, this place seems familiar. I think I know why I know this place. I'm going to look it up right now. So I pulled to the side of the road, I grabbed my phone, and I Googled Kingsland, Texas, and then I find out what I want to see and where I want to go. I went there, I took a picture of it, and I sent it to you, and I said, guess what this is? Do you know what this is? And you said, it's a cat cafe or something like that.
No, I told you because in the photo had the sign of what the place was.
Well, the photo had the sign of what the place. It was a restaurant, but you just spewed back what the restaurant is. The name of
whatever the title. Well, you said, guess where I'm at, and so I just typed out the name of the restaurant that you went to.
That building that I took a picture of was.
Is it haunted?
No, listen. That building that I took a picture of is the house where the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was filmed. And
get the fuck out!
Yeah.
Really? I'm gonna go back to it now.
It was originally in.
Why'd you tell me that?
Because I was busy doing murder mystery party.
Busy doing nothing.
And so I had to do a little pilgrimage, like a little side trip on the way to the park, just for that.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I recognize it.
So that house was originally in Round Route, Texas, which is a suburb of Austin. It's just north of Austin. And what is now on the grounds where the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was filmed is Dell. But they took the house and they moved it to Kingsland. And when I read that, I thought, it's so far away, I'll never get to see that. But when I saw the sign that I was entering King, I'm like, wait a minute. Is this the place where the Texas Chainsaw House was? So I had to go. It was right nearby. And I can die now. Because I was where I saw the house where the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was filmed.
So on the front it says the Grand Central Cafe and Club Car Lounge. I would rebrand this and turn it to a barbecue place. Mm-hmm. That is such a missed opportunity.
Now, to be fair, in Bastrop, which is not far from here, is the gas station where the beginning of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre was filmed. It's still standing. I have never been there. And they do serve barbecue. They, picked up on it.
That's ingenious.
Yeah. So, So I then I went to this murder mystery party, and normally it's like old people from Austin that hire me to do this. No, this group was like in their 30s, and I showed up, and it was like 7:00 when I showed up. I was pleasantly surprised to find out they were not already drunk, which a lot of times if you're going, they were a group. There was a wedding. And a lot of them were from California. Some of them were from Austin. And so they did this Airbnb that they rented out, and it was like this really nice house with a nice lakefront property. And normally I'm used to drunks, but this time these I don't know if this is what the kids are doing now. Apparently it is. I don't know. By the way, half the women were pregnant. I almost thought I was in some sort of cult. Like, oh my God, what? But if it wasn't for the fact that the guy who organized it, which was this really handsome gay Asian guy, his name was Chris. He's from the San Francisco area, and he came and talked to me afterwards. And he works for Google, and I don't know why I know that. But anyway, where was I? So they started doing whippets. Okay, I thought that was a dog. A type of dog that my next door neighbor has. But whippets, ladies and gentlemen, is when you have a can and it's like a canister, like it's from like Alien or something, and it's just this silver canister, like a Yeti, and it's got a thing you can put the cartridges in it, like in that Columbo episode with the wine opener. Right. They've got those kind of cartridges, and then what you do is you put the spigot on in your mouth, and you inhale the fumes that are in the canister. This is a fucking thing. Yeah, they were doing this the whole time, like just casually, like, oh God. And this one guy was really fucked up, And I'm like, I was thinking in my head, like, you can't be fucked up from just doing this gas thing. I found it afterwards. Steve, he was on LSD. I have never been around anybody that's been on LSD before. That was
So he was on LSD and just whippets.
Yes,
Shit.
whippets.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I'm going to file that away for later. And they were all doing it. And there was this one guy, and
Even the pregnant women?
No. They were not. No.
Oh, thank God.
And there was this one guy. He was English, and he was a little bit older from the rest of them. He was somebody's husband. And afterwards, he was doing it. He goes, I just want to let you know, I don't normally approve of these whippets. I'm like, sir, I don't care. I'm getting paid $600. You could be all having sex in front of me. In fact, there's that guy that
you could be in the recreation of the movie Society, and you'd be totally fine with it.
Society, yeah. For those of you who want to listen to that, for some reason, Shit We Watch on Netflix is still available on Apple Podcasts. So go listen to our discussion of that. I don't know why it's still available, but we've had people email the Colombo Confab email account. And
really?
Where can I find the TARDIS Tavern? It's gone. You can't find it, but it's only on Steve's hard drive.
Okay, let's go ahead and talk about tonight's episode. We've been talking for over 20 minutes.
Oh my God! Do you have your eyes on?
I cannot imagine why anybody who would want to listen to a Murder, She Wrote podcast where they never talk about Murder, She Wrote.
Wait, I have one more thing, and it's totally Murder, She Wrote related. Okay, please.
Okay.
I have to share this with you. This is what I see, Steve. Before we press the record button, I could share it with you, but when I do it now, I'm sharing it with you, and I'm also sharing it with the readers, and it's also in perpetuity. It is quote on tape. You know, I'm doing the Lord's work here. All right, I'm helping you.
I see. Okay.
So the last time you and I talked was actually a couple days ago while we were playing video games. And I mentioned that I'm getting into role-playing games, and I wanted to start like a league, so to speak, of Call of Cthulhu.
Oh my God!
Which is a tabletop role-playing game set in the 1920s with a bunch of investigators who do solve mysteries. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so somebody, Drew Meyer, who probably doesn't listen to this, texted this to me, and I also saw it on Facebook myself. That there are literally like 200 different role-playing games. Anybody who can write a story can make up a role-playing game. Well, there is, I will tell you this, Steve, there is an unofficial Murder, She Wrote role-playing game.
Oh.
Okay? And in the game, you and your co-players play elderly women in the small town of
Cabot Cove?
Brindlewood Bay. And you have to solve mysteries together. But not only that, all the mysteries have a supernatural twist. Like, kind of like Buffy, but it's like Murder, She Wrote.
But, okay, Murder, She Wrote.
It's not a Murder, She Wrote, but it's obviously inspired by Murder, She Wrote. The role-playing game is called Brindlewood Bay. And, that's what it is. You solve mysteries, you're an old lady, and there's probably stuff like vampires and werewolves, like behind the doors, like that, underground type of thing. You know what I mean? Like Buffy. You know what I mean?
Right.
I
think I understand.
Okay.
Yes.
Does that interest you? Do you want to comment on that? This is what you normally do on a podcast. Somebody tells a story, and then the co-host says, "Oh, wow, that's interesting. Oh, really?" Or I don't like that at all.
It doesn't sound interesting to me. I'd rather play the board game, to be quite honest. Did you pick up a copy yet of the board game?
No, I've had the board game for years. It's a fun game.
Oh, you have? Okay, I couldn't remember. I know we discussed it.
It's a fun game.
If you
Murder, She Wrote, the board game. It's ugly as fuck, though. But it's a fun game, because you play with a bunch of people. One of you is the murderer, and the rest of you have to figure out who the murderer is before the murderer kills a certain number of people and then escapes the island.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
Are you going to guide us into the next phase of the podcast episode now?
I guess, like I said, the cold medicine and the vodka, it's... okay, where were we?
You were about...
Deadly Assets.
Deadly Assets.
Deadly Assets.
Which, I'm going to be frank with you, Steve. Every time I see the word assets, and really, every time I say the word assets, which is not often, I try not to sound gay. Because if I'm saying it, deadly assets. See, that sounds gay. But I have to be like, assets. And I also think...
Sorry. Well, I can't see your face. I can imagine what your expression is right now.
Anyway, I was going to say, every time I hear the word assets, I think of the Dark Crystal. Because remember, there's that scene, we're going to drain your assets. We're going to have your assets. Remember that?
I don't remember that, no. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so we start the episode with, I guess we're at a location, the Lomax sheet metal. It's not a factory. It's what do you call it?
I don't know. I don't know what you call it.
Place. Anyway, so somebody who we find out his name is Walter is robbing a safe to get some money that he feels is due to him because Lomax sold him some crappy engine parts or something. But when he breaks open the safe, an alarm goes off, and what then proceeds is the slowest robbery in the history of man. Instead of picking the money and running, he then sits down, he opens the lockbox with a fishing knife, and then proceeds to count the money. Now, I'm thinking seconds are precious in this moment. If you're going to rob a place and the alarm's going off, and not only that, we hear the cops coming. But anyways, he escapes just in time.
Right before Sheriff Metzger and Deputy Andy come storming into the place. Wait, it's not Metzger, is it? No, he finds...
It is Metzger. Did you watch this?
Well, this is the thing.
Yes, it's Metzger.
Metzger is later on, he's at Jessica's house, and then he gets a call, and he's like, oh, there's been a robbery. I have to go. Well, wait a minute. You were at the robbery right when the robber left.
No, he wasn't. Nope.
No, he wasn't he wasn't the one that...
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right.
You sure you watched this?
No, I watched it. In fact, I'm going to tell you right now, the sheet metal company that the robber takes place at, Lomax, is it's right on the pier. It's right out on the ocean side. So every time there's a scene there, you can hear the ocean in the background. And you don't really hear the ocean. You hear the ding, ding sound of the whatever buoys or whatever that is. And that is a...
Buoys?
Buoys. What do you call those things? Buoys?
Buoys, yeah, I guess.
Buoys.
I don't know. I don't live on the coast.
Yeah, we don't live in L.A.
And I know it's not boys.
So,
okay, Jimmy Savile.
Savile, it's Savile. Sir!
Savile, whatever his name is.
This sound that you...
Oh, I did watch that, by the way.
You did? Did you
watch the Jimmy Savile thing on Netflix?
No, because somebody that lives here has never heard... I never heard of him before. Why would I want to watch that? Was it good?
Yeah, that was really good. It's a two-parter.
Really?
So he would probably hate it because it's so long. But I felt like they could have gone into more, honestly. But... yeah, it was interesting.
And for our American friends, Jimmy Savile was a host of a kids program. And was it in the 80s, I think?
Well, yeah, he was a DJ,
he was a DJ
at first.
Yeah.
And then he had like a TV show where it was like kind of like the Dick Clark... what was that? Dick Clark show that he had where bands would come on and would be dancing. And I don't know, it was before my time.
Yeah,
he had that, but he was and then he it's nuts. He had a kid show named Jim Will Fix It.
He died. Yeah, he had a show called Jim Will Fix It. He died, and he actually had when he died, he was like revered, like, oh my god, like a legend has died. And then after his death, it came out that he was molesting all these kids. Like, a lot.
Yeah.
Like, one every...
He would go to hospitals. Yeah, he would go to hospitals. And not only that, he was put in charge of a hospital. Yeah. You find out in this thing. It's crazy.
He was gross. Like, the only thing that he could do to be a worse human being is commit murder. He was disgusting. And what's weird is that...
And he looked creepy, too. I mean, if you ever see pictures of him, he looks creepy. Like, I wouldn't...
Anyways,
let's get back to Murder, She Wrote. Jess and Metzger are planning Seth's surprise birthday party.
Okay. Yeah.
And they're like, well, how should we invite... Okay, the guest list is 11, 12... Okay, it should be about 14 people, right? So
14 people... By the way, we see the birthday party later on, and it's more like 7 people.
I counted 9.
Oh, really?
If you include Jessica.
So
that's something... I think a lot of people hate Seth, so I think that's my guess.
It's like a bunch... It looks like the Republican National Convention, frankly. It's just a bunch of old people standing around smiling. I'm like, this isn't a birthday. This is just, a few extras and some people that were in this episode. Okay, so, all right. So the police come and they're like, okay, what was stolen, Mr. Lomax? And he's like, oh, just $200 or $300 out of the safe.
It was like $900,000. It was really what was stolen.
And we're like, why is he lying? But we're told very shortly that there's a gangster in Chicago, land of the gangsters, as we know. And there's a guy, I can't remember his name right now, Lupinski.
Joseph Kaspinski or something like that. So Lomax has been doing some side work for this gangster, and he's holding this money for what I guess laundering purposes. And so that's the money that Walter steals. Now Walter is a guy who works on the docks. He's romantically involved with one of the side characters. He's a young man, and he's going to get married to, or eventually get married to, what's her name?
I wrote down her name.
Libby. Yeah, Libby. So,
and by the way, if you like stories with young guys with old guys' names, this is the episode for you, because we have a young Walter, we have a young Harvey. All we needed was like a young, I don't know. Vince. I don't know.
Vince doesn't sound too old.
Well, so
Joe. We have a Joseph. He's the mob boss.
All right. Yeah, I thought he was going to be in it more, but it turns out that his sidekick Oscar is going to be in it a little bit later. So, all right.
So the mob boss is very concerned that his $900,000. I mean, I would be too. Yeah. So he sends his goon Oscar to kind of handle things, unbeknownst to Lomax, right?
His goon.
But Lomax has. So Lomax calls somebody he knows, Garrett. What was Garrett's first name? Charlie. That's another old person name. Charlie Garrett, who's a private investigator. And I like that we're introduced with him. I almost feel like they were trying to do a spin-off with this character from this episode.
He was in it before, and Jessica says that she knows him from Miami, and I wouldn't be surprised if he turns out to be a main character in one of those non-Jessica episodes. I may be wrong, but don't at me about that, folks. It's okay. We'll find out eventually. By the way, Charlie is played by an actor, and shame on me, I didn't write down the actor's name, and I should have. He plays Trapper John in MASH. A show that, and forgive me, I don't know if it's the TV show or the movie that he plays Trapper John.
It was a TV show.
Okay, it was the TV show? Okay. Yeah. Because I think in the movie he was played by Donald Sutherland, but I've never seen...
No, Wayne Rogers is who you're thinking.
Yes, Wayne Rogers is his name, yes. MASH is a show that I probably should watch more of. I just never got around to it. So, I understand it might be a good show. So
it is a good show. It is. Yeah.
You know what? My grandpa would watch it, and I'd watch it with him. It was on late at night, when I say late at night, when I was little, I mean I was like 10 p.m. And to me, it was a comedy, and they had if memory serves, they had a laugh track, but it was not funny to me at all. But that was when I was a kid. I bet now.
Oh no, it was funny. I thought I remember it being funny. But yeah, I mean, it lasted forever.
Yeah,
it must have gone up for over 10 years. I want to say. I don't know, but it pretty much was Alan Alda's
Alan Alda
launching pad.
Yeah, what are you doing here? And they always have these conversations where they're operating on somebody, and it was during the war and. I remember one time I was watching it, and I'm like, oh, that's the cook from Clue the movie. I don't remember her name, but she was in the background playing some Korean lady.
What?
No, well, it was set during the Korean War. They were in
Korea. Right.
And I do remember I saw part of the movie, and there was this one scene, and I don't remember the character. But he realized he was gay, so he was going to kill himself.
Wait, this is the TV show?
This is the movie MASH. And
okay. I never saw the movie.
He realized he was gay. He was going to kill himself, so they actually said, "Okay, we'll help you kill yourself. We're going to give you something to kill you, and then we're going to have your funeral." I have never known someone who blows their nose as obnoxiously as you.
That's not. I'm clearing my passages, sir.
So anyway, they stage this whole thing, and it's just a joke. But I find that kind of offensive. Like, oh, I'm gay, and I'm going to kill myself. I don't know. But I from what I know, Robert Altman directed the movie from the 70s. A big, huge hit. It was nominated for Academy Awards and whatnot. And then they made a TV show out of it. That's all. And what was the name of the guy that played Radar? Bergdorf something.
The actor?
Yeah, Bergdorf something.
The actor?
Maybe Peter Bergdorf?
I can't remember.
Anyway, he would always be on Match Game once in a while. Yeah. Anyway, okay, Murder, She Wrote.
Thank you. All right, so, Lomax hires...
Steve, I know that you're here just to talk about Murder, She Wrote.
That's what this podcast is about, yes.
Okay. All right.
So, Lomax hires Charlie Garrett to investigate, and funny thing is, he's throwing darts at a picture of J. Edgar Hoover.
Okay, I did not realize who that was. That's a good... Okay.
Yeah. So we go to another scene where Jessica goes to Celia's
gift shop.
Celia's and Antiques. And apparently she is pissed off at Jessica for, God, I don't know. Something about not saying thank you. I mean, that's when you get presents from old women, you need to send a thank you card. Yeah. It's just... I was about saying, you're just going to piss them off for 4 years. And she's been holding this grudge for 4 years at poor Jessica.
And she's also pissed because she got a thank you note 3 weeks after giving a gift. And I'm thinking, first of all, do we do that still? Is that a thing?
Oh, man. I was the worst at it because I have a family in the Northeast. And they would always expect thank you card. This was when I was growing up. So we're talking like the 80s. Mid-80s, and they'd always expect thank you cards, and I was so bad at it. I mean, it was like every weekend whenever I saw my dad, it would be, did you send them thank you cards? I'm like, no.
I don't know what it is with white people.
Well, you got to do that today. Yeah. And I kept putting it would be like around March or April by the time I got those thank you cards out for the Christmas presents.
I don't think you should send thank you. This is such a white people thing. It's like, because I had it too. I wouldn't have to do it for Christmas. Like, I wouldn't have to send a thank you card to my grandma.
Oh, I did.
Really?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
But I remember, like, for my graduation, because a lot of people gave me money and stuff, and, and my mom said, you've got to write thank you cards. I'm going to buy these. Now you sit down at the kitchen table and you write all the, 150 thank you cards. And I fucking hated it. Now, I'm going to be honest, I've gotten thank you cards, from people from like a wedding, and I'm like, oh hey, I appreciate this thank you card. I'm going to throw it away. I'm going to put it in the garbage.
Right.
But the best is when you have a pet that dies and you get a card from a relative, a condolence card from a relative. My cousin, we had two cats that died, and put it on the Facebook. She didn't say anything on Facebook, but she put it in a card and mailed it to us, and with a nice note.
That is really sweet.
Yeah, that was really sweet. Of course, we threw away the card, but I'm going to remember that she did that. You know what I mean? So yeah.
You gonna include her in your will?
Well, she's
last will and testament.
Like 7 years younger than me, so I'm figuring she's doing okay anyway.
Okay, so anyways, we're introduced to Celia's daughter, Libby. Now, Libby is engaged to Walter, the aforementioned thug that stole from the safe. And Celia doesn't like Walter very much. She thinks he's a bad seed. He's always been a troublemaker. But anyways, Libby also works, besides with her mother, she works at the local trust deed department,
government records office, boring job place.
Yeah.
But I was looking at where Celia works. She owns this shop selling gifts and antiques and crappy shit that nobody wants.
Right. But apparently she's doing gangbusters because she's just wrapping and packaging things for people.
Really?
I mean, it's a busy store.
Yeah. Oh,
I think if you go to a kind of a little town like Cabot Cove, that's all that's there is antique shops.
I guess so. Yeah.
When we went on a family trip about a month or so ago. Went like to New Mexico, Colorado, West Texas area. We ended up going to Roswell. I don't know if we discussed that on this thing, but all that was there besides UFO places like alien museums and shit were antique shops. There were a zillion antique shops,
and they do well.
Yeah.
And that's
well.
post-COVID, too. Because a lot of stuff, but there are places here in Texas where you walk through and it's just dead. I mean, they'll be like antiques, and there's nothing in there. And the door is locked, and it's got a closed sign out. And that was even before COVID. But yeah, this place that she owns is not, well, I guess it's okay, in the context of the show, but it's gross. I wouldn't shop there.
It's not gross.
No.
Why is it gross?
No, it's
what makes
gross.
You say
Steve,
that.
what are you going to buy there, Steve? Are you going to buy a quilt?
And why would you go there to buy Seth a present? I mean, of all the shit... If I was Seth, I would want like a nice bottle of whiskey.
Yeah, exactly. That's what Seth needs, a nice bottle of whiskey so he can take his mind off of whatever the fuck is... I know he's not doing his job. I mean, he spends all his time in Jessica's kitchen, eating, brownies and shit.
Waiting to get a little piece of that, and then she moves off to New York. By the way, so this is in season 10. She's in New York, right? She's just coming back for this episode. She's just visiting to take care of a few... loose ends, I guess, dealing with her property, and I guess also to help arrange the surprise party for Seth. But after this, I'm sure, I don't know, I'm sure the next episode's in New York.
I know, they did this for the show, like to sort of reinvigorate it and have her move to New York. I cannot understand. Well, maybe I can. I mean, why would you move from Cabot Cove, and she's got that great house that probably now would be like a $900,000 house. And why would you move from that? It's like a perfect fucking house. It's like if they said this is a perfect house, they'd have like Jessica Fletcher's house, and then they'd have like Buckingham Palace. But she.
Well, not only that. I think it was in one of the first. I think it was in the first episode of season 1. At least one of the first episodes in season 1. Where her nephew, Grady, says, you should move to New York. And she's like, no, it's too busy, too loud. I like it in Cabot Cove.
Yeah, exactly. I would like it in Cabot. But you know what? We're young. We're getting old. Maybe when we retire, we want to move out of the city into someplace like Cabot Cove. But maybe it's the opposite, when you grow or when you're living in some place like Cabot Cove, when you retire or grow older, you want to move out and go to some place like New York City. I'd be like, I mean, have you ever been to New York City? It is a whole different. It is everything that you see in the movies and TV shows. It's really like that. And I say this, I'm sure there's people listening that are like, oh my God, you said this about New York City. We live in Texas, okay? We are in our own little bubble down here. All right? We
Oh, okay. Speak for yourself, sir.
I told you I went to Portland and San Diego, okay? And thank you for keeping that down. Thank you.
Is that better? I was trying so hard to blow a little less diligently.
So, yeah, Celia owns this gift shop. Libby is her daughter, and she has a son named Harvey. And Celia clearly needs...
Why would you name your poor kid that? Oh,
Celia
my God.
Clearly needs a book of baby names for whatever year they were born. This is I'm going to name my kid after canned peaches and an invisible rabbit. No, ma'am, no. And Harvey, I think he's a lawyer, but I'm not sure because...
I don't know.
He's either a lawyer or he just runs errands for Jessica. I'm not sure.
No. He works for Lomax.
Oh, he does?
At some, I don't know if it's a salesperson or what, but he works for Lomax at some degree. Maybe he's his lawyer. I don't know.
I got the...
Because remember he's telling Jessica that, he's not going to honor his warranty on the storm windows.
Okay.
And he goes to Lomax, and Lomax is like, get out of here. I'm not talking about Jessica's storm windows.
Okay, all right. Well, this is the thing about...
Did you watch this?
I did, Jesus. I did. And this is the thing about Harvey. He is a very handsome young man, except there is a problem, and I couldn't figure it out. And then I suddenly realized about halfway through the episode when I saw him, I'm like, aha! His eyes are too close together. Did you notice that? Like there's something off when you look... like when you look at someone... And they're not really ugly. They're not really,
Wow, that's harsh.
Would you
mind? My gosh.
I'm not saying it about a lady, sir. I'm saying it about this gentleman.
It doesn't matter who you're saying it about.
Okay. All right.
So Harvey, who played Harvey? That was played by
somebody we don't know. See these later episodes.
Edmund Roach.
Okay. Oh yeah.
As Edmund Roach? What else has he been in? He was in The Mask with Jim Carrey.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen that since it came out.
Days of Our Lives. Okay. He's in there.
So is everybody else. And CSI, yay! And Law and Order.
Dog with a Blog. He was in that TV show. Anything else I might recognize? The Event, which is a TV show I never saw.
All right.
NCIS. Okay,
yeah,
I can
told
see
you.
that. General Hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, he's done the soap opera. Oh, he was in Scrubs and Deadwood. I never watched that.
Oh, that's a good show, Steve. Steve! I never watched that. That's a good show. Of course, the good show you've never watched.
NYPD Blue. He's been in a lot of TV shows.
It says every other actor that's been in
Parkers.
Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, he was in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I'm sure you watched that.
Okay.
Oh, 90210. Days of Our Lives.
So,
Diagnosis Murder.
Ladies and gentlemen. Okay.
He's in Police Academy. The first one.
The first one?
Really? Yeah.
I gotta watch that again, Steve. I gotta track down the Blu-ray set of Police Academy movies where they all come in one box set. Is it?
How many were there?
I think there were like 7 or 8. I don't know. I've only seen 2.
Was that at the point when Hollywood just kind of gave up? It's like, yeah, let's have Friday the 13th part, Infinity, where he's in space now. Yeah. Let's just do that.
We liked that, though, Steve. That was a good
movie. We did actually like that one.
That was a good movie. But when you have Police Academy 10, it's like...
in space.
I
why don't they do that? The people who make like those spoof movies, like Airplane, Scary Movie, those kind of films, do something where in this name it Police Academy 20. It's just like a police squad in space. Yeah. That's what they should do.
I bought the box set from the Scream Factory, or the Shot Factory over there, of all the Friday the 13th movies on Blu-ray.
Right. Yeah.
There's a rewatchability factor to those movies, because even the worst Friday the 13th movie, you could watch it and somehow enjoy part of it. With some exceptions, I think. But Police Academy...
Wait, which was the one with where he... there was a kid... Oh, he's crazy now.
Yeah.
One of the Coreys.
Corey
one of the Coreys.
Feldman.
I can't...
Yeah, that would be part 4.
That's 4. I remember that one being really interesting because he uses makeup to make himself look like
that
Jason when he was a young boy.
That was the first Friday the 13th movie that I saw. I was absolutely terrified because what the fuck? What are you doing now? Oh,
I'm sorry. That bothers you now, huh?
No, I didn't know you were blowing your nose. It sounded like the sound like when you used to close windows. You'd shut it down and it'd go...
Okay. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No, that was Friday the 14th, Part 4, the final chapter.
Friday the 14th, Part 4?
Friday the 13th.
Okay.
Saturday the 14th is actually the movie. But Friday the 14th, Part 4. And that was really good. I saw it when I was a kid at a sleepover. Yes. I was at a sleepover. And I was terrified because my parents wouldn't let me watch that kind of shit. They showed me Alien. That's fine. But Friday the 13th? No. We're not going to let you watch that. It's too violent. And, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, so in your, as an adult now, which one is more violent out of those two films?
Oh, it's Friday the 13th, without a doubt. I mean, there's like 10 people that die every movie. Alien, there's like 6 people that die. But it's more creepy. Yeah. It's more terrifying, really. And this guy running around. And I always think that the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, I think those movies are ridiculous. I just can't stand it.
I only saw the first one, and that was recently, and I didn't care for it. So I got to watch, I guess, the next one. Maybe that's when the series really kicks in. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not that person that's into those. But the second one, you might enjoy because it's really, really gay.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. I don't know why I would enjoy it more because of that, but I remember not liking Halloween, and you're like, you got to see the second one. So I went on Shudder and watched Hellraiser 2 instead, and you got really mad at me. And so I then proceeded to watch Hellraiser 3 and 4, and then you got even more mad at me. And I finally saw Halloween 2, and I agree that was a better film.
It's not a better film, but I knew that you would like it more. Because I know you. And you know what? And you said to me, I like it for 2 reasons. And then you texted me a picture.
We brought this up last time.
You texted me a picture of a lady with her boobs. So, yeah. We did bring it up last time, I think. Okay. So, Walter Perry has a boat.
Who?
Walter Perry. The guy that broke into the safe at the beginning of the episode.
Walter, yes.
He has a boat. I don't know why he has a boat. But
he works on the pier.
Lomax,
he takes. Yeah, he's a fisherman. I don't know.
I swear to God, this is the same setting that they filmed Jaws at. This pier looks exactly like where Quint's shop is in Jaws. It looks very, very similar.
It could very well be because this is an NBC Universal. Our NBC program, and of course Jaws was Universal. And I know in Colombo they showed the Universal Studio lots quite a bit. So,
and all right, yeah, and so Lomax, knows that Walter's the one that stole the money. He's like, "Come on, you got to give it back." Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and like you're messing with the wrong people. You don't return that money. You're going to have the wrong kind of people that. They're going to be after you. They're going to hunt you down.
So,
I would take what Lomax said as truthful. I mean, you don't want to fuck with the mob. And I'm not saying that because I'm pro mob or anything. It's just
no.
It's not who you want to fuck with. I mean, come on.
They will kill you. And they will kill you in a way that you either don't expect because they come... Oh, my God. I saw the movie Casino. The first time I saw it, there's a scene where Joe Pesci comes in this lady's house and just creeps up on her and just shoots her in the head and she dies. Like, I don't want to die like that. I want to know when...
I don't think Joe Pesci's acting. Actually, I think that's him.
Yeah. He
They'd be like, they probably set up cameras in his house, and they just told Joe to break in and do what he needs to do.
So there.
Sorry.
So there's this extraneous scene where they're in the records office and they're moving all the office supplies out. I don't remember why. It's an innocuous scene, but it's important later on. And basically, we see Walter put his backpack with the money in it in one of the drawers there, and he puts it underneath a paper cutter. And for those of you who don't know what paper... Okay, what?
Go ahead. No, I was going to comment on it, but go ahead. It sounds like you're going that direction. So,
for those of you who don't know what a paper cutter is, and I don't know if they still exist. I really don't know. I don't know if they exist in the form that we see them here, but it's this thing with this...
I don't think so.
It's a small table... Not a table, but it's like sort of a square grid sort of thing that's maybe about I don't know, 1.5 by 1.5 feet, and it has this
with a machete,
yes,
with a machete attached to the side of it.
Yes,
I would always be worried I was going to cut my finger off with that thing.
Yes.
Oh my gosh!
And they let children use it in grammar school, ladies and gentlemen, and it's terrifying. And if you were to just take that blade off of the paper cutter, you could cut some bitches with that, man. And,
you could hack them.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like, you could be a butcher with that thing. It's crazy.
And in fact, I have a friend I used to work with in an office where he did cut his finger with that thing and ended up going to the emergency room. Yes.
Oh, owie.
So, yeah, I'm terrified of those things. And I think that now they've fixed them so they're more like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's just a blade that goes back and forth. And it's
well, you worked at Kinko's, right?
Yes, that's exactly
Did they have
what
those
I'm
at
thinking.
Kinko's?
They didn't have them. They had a one where there was a blade that would go back and forth, but it wasn't like a machete that you would cut down that was exposed. It was in a plastic covering. I don't know how to explain it, but it was almost like a squish thing. Like when you swipe your credit card, it was like that. And these things, I don't know if they exist anywhere anymore because do people need to cut paper? No, they do. I know they do.
I don't know.
But
Scissors,
yeah. But if you need to cut like 4 pieces of paper the same way, anyway, yeah. I don't know. This is not a problem I've had recently. So yeah, that's terrifying. So that's the clue, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we call a clue.
It is. That's probably one of the only clues I feel.
But
so Walter confides to Libby that he's got this money and he wants her to hide it, and she's like, "No, I can't do that." So yeah, he ends up putting it into one of the cabinets. Now the problem is, this is in that that records office, but they're moving locations, so there's movers everywhere. So there's a very good chance this bag of money of $900,000 is going to go missing, which is. I would think if I was going to hide it, I wouldn't put it somewhere where they're moving furniture.
I think I would give it to Mr. Lomax, frankly. I'd be like, I don't want this. I don't want any part of this. It's not worth $900,000. Here, take your money. It's stupid. What he does is stupid. It's just...
It is stupid.
Dumb.
So, we shoot to a scene where Jessica is shopping for Seth's party, but he still doesn't know it's for him. And as Seth is driving away, he gets into a car accident with Charlie Garrett, and that's when Garrett recognizes Jessica. Oh, happy reunion!
Yeah, they have a car accident on a Universal Studios lot, ladies and gentlemen, outside a.
Actually, I thought it was kind of funny because just seeing Seth get pissy, become a pissy old man.
By the way, I just have to say, the scenes with Jessica, Metzger, and Seth together, like just shooting the shit, I could watch that all day. I seriously could watch that all day. Because somebody on Twitter, I think it was Twitter. Yeah, it was Twitter. or maybe it was Facebook, said, Metzger should have his own series. The actor's still alive. Let's give him his own series. And I'm like, he's still alive.
He is?
Yeah. I'd be like, sir, I don't know how he's doing right now. I mean, he may be, sitting there listening to the Cubs game on the thing. But, yeah. I like him more and more. The more I see him, the more I like him. The more I see of Seth, kind of the less I like him. Because I just think he's so annoying,
I totally imagine that's what you're going to be like in 30 years, but
I really would have preferred you said I'm going to be more like Jessica than Seth. Really.
Aw.
No, that's what I prefer. No, not you, Steve. No, you're going to be more like in 30 years. Let me hold on. You are going to be like, I don't know. I can't think of it now, Steve. I would prefer you to say, well, you know what, Sean? 30 years from now, I imagine you'd be like Vincent Price.
Sean, I think you're going to be just like Vincent Price.
Yes.
Is that better?
Yes. Scream for your lives.
Is Tom Bosley still alive?
No, he died a long time ago. Please don't say.
Because he and Metzger would be a great Miami Vice kind of, but in Cabot Cove.
It would be like they're like in an old people's home, and then they find that
solving mysteries.
Wow, I'm Tom.
Who took Jezebel's teeth?
Hey, it's been done before. So
the bingo cheater conspiracy. They could try to solve that.
So it's been done before. Yeah. There was a movie called Bubba Hotep where Bruce.
Oh yes.
Bruce Campbell and this other guy. They're old people in an old people's home, and Bruce Campbell is actually Elvis. This is a movie. When you talk about it, it's like, did they fucking make that into a movie? Seriously? So Bruce Campbell plays Elvis. And first of all, Bruce Campbell. And I would see fucking anything if it was Bruce Campbell in it.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I think that if they redid Columbo, or if they rebooted Columbo, Bruce Campbell would be a great murderer. But he's not sinister. He's just sort of like adorkable, and he plays Elvis. He's doing the really old Elvis in this rest home, and he's got this friend, and they find out that there's a mummy on the loose, or is it a vampire? I can't remember.
I think the friend is played by Ossie Davis, right?
I don't know who that is. I know that,
and he thinks he's JFK. So he's a black actor, but he thinks he's JFK, and of course Bruce Campbell. We don't know. He thinks he's Elvis, still alive, but in an old folks' home. He may or may not be. Yeah. They never answer that. They kind of leave it open at the end. Yeah,
it's so good. It's actually So folks, if you like Bruce Campbell, go see.
I'm sure
that movie.
I'm sure they've seen it already. If you know who that is and you like him, I'm sure you've seen it. So.
Yeah. Those are the only people.
Okay, so Murder, She Wrote. So Garrett, Charlie Garrett visits Lomax at his office, trying to get some more details because he's on to, there's something else going on here because Lomax kind of sold him on the fact that this Walter kid mistakenly sold some government documents for contract work, and he needs it back, but he didn't tell him anything about the mob boss or anything. So Garrett's very suspicious about why he's being brought in on this case, and he plants a bug in Lomax's office. So that comes into play a little bit later. Oh, I got my windows.
It's okay.
I'm here for you. Go ahead. Keep talking.
I'm here for you. Yeah, he plants a bug in Lomax.
It's like every time I blow my nose, it's like full on. Like it never stops coming out.
That's what she said.
What is that?
I don't know. You know what? The mysteries of blowing the nose I don't know. I remember as a kid, I used to get colds and the flu all the time because, that's what kids do. And I remember thinking, oh my God, like I would personally pay myself for a machine that you could hook up to your nose that just sucks it all out because I can't stand it anymore. Nowadays, I wish I could get sick so I wouldn't have to go to work, but that hasn't happened for a long time.
Well, anyway,
when I say a long time, I mean when I got COVID that one time. So,
okay, where were we? Oscar. He ends up trashing Walter's apartment and his boat, looking for the 900K. And Walter's starting to get a little nervous now. He's starting to see, oh boy, this is some serious business. I mean, who wouldn't? If you got 900,000, why would you take that kind of money? You're going to have some serious heat on you. I don't understand.
At what point are you going, you know what? Maybe I should go back to the office and take the money and give it to Mr. Lomax. This is, you know what? I'm out. I'm out. Game over.
Why didn't he just, if Lomax owes him a couple $100, why didn't he just take a couple $100 out of that? No one would have known.
Yeah. Well, maybe, what's his name? The gangster in Chicago would have known. But, yeah.
Because that's what Garrett does. He takes a couple of $1,000 for himself at the end of the show.
And he tells oh, that's right. Yes, we'll get there. He also Walter also tells his girlfriend Libby. By the way, Walter and Libby, isn't that a great name for a couple? Walter and Libby. Wow.
Well, and not only that, she works. Okay, so she works for the state or whatever. I bet you $100 that if this was in real life, she would have lost her job after all this, because she would have been an accessory to that kind of robbery. How much is it? Is it a federal offense when you go up to a certain amount of money? And I'm sure $900,000 is in the help to steal it. Yeah. Come on, they got off scot-free. That bothered me. Okay.
So,
whatever.
All right, Mr. Whatever his name is from Chicago's putting on the heat. He's laid it flat too. By the way, this guy from Chicago, he's only in 2 scenes of this, and I'm not bringing this up because this actor resonates in the episode. He doesn't. He's just the crime guy. He's the mob boss. He's got his hair slicked back. He wears gloves. He has a car phone. And when I say car phone, ladies and gentlemen, I don't mean a phone that he has in a car. Well, wait, no, I do. But a phone that is actually fucking installed in the car, which is so 80s and 90s. But they do this thing with him. Every time he's on the phone, in the background, there's in the second scene, I think, there's a tractor working, like construction. Like, oh my God, he's so down and dirty. He's in a construction. In the first scene that he's in, and they do this in bad movies all the time. It's at night, and in the background, there's smoke. It's not smoke. It's like steam from a manhole coming up in the background, and it's so hokey. It's so terrible. But they do it. They do it here. I'm just saying that you have to see it to understand it. But yeah. So
why is it always construction? I want to know that.
Well, because that's what they did. They got in with the unions, which were often in construction, and you got to see that movie by Martin Scorsese, The Irishman. It's like
I do want to see that. I do want to see that.
It's about 3.5 hours, but it goes by smooth. It's perfect. I like those types of movies, like Goodfellas, Casino, The Irishman. I mean, you could watch those in a trilogy. I just like the fucking modern day, or Johnny Depp was in that movie. Oh my God, Johnny Depp. He was in that movie. What was it called? Oh my God, where he played the gangster.
Pirates of the Caribbean?
No, sir. He basically played
Edward Scissorhands.
No, he plays Whitey Bulger, and it was a good movie. It was not the best, but I like movies like that. I like movies where, oh my God, I'm going to get shit. This is the second time I'm bringing up Casino. But by the way, Johnny Depp, I have this new thing where I get really drunk, and I go on the computer, and I watch the Johnny Depp Amber Heard court stuff. I am.
Oh God!
I have to admit, I'm a little bit obsessed with this, and I like. So far, it's only been him. He's the plaintiff. They're doing his case in chief, and I saw somebody say that he's on something. He's drunk. No, he's not. He's not. That's the way he talks. I actually went and looked at old videos of him talking. He talks the same. And by the way, Johnny Depp was discovered by John Waters, more or less. He was in this movie called Crybaby, and then they brought him on to be in this show called 21 Jump Street. Extremely handsome man. I did not realize...
Wait, Crybaby was before 21 Jump Street?
Yeah.
I thought it was the other way around.
You might be right. But I thought it was before 21 Jump Street.
It's around the same time.
Okay.
I know that.
Yeah, so I've never watched a single episode of 21 Jump Street.
It's really good. It's really good.
It is?
I mean, I know you preferred his performance in Nightmare on Elm Street, the first one.
God, yes. Oh, my God. But no.
God. He's a horrible character in that.
He is a horrible character. I mean, Jesus.
So I imagine the reason that we see the mob boss on that construction site is he's burying Jimmy Hoffa's body or something.
Okay, yeah, maybe. But I'm talking about Johnny Depp, not Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh, I'm trying to transition you away from that, you see. I'm not doing a very good job.
I'm watching him, test, and I'm going back to, like videos that he's done, not videos, but interviews that he's done in the past, like with Oprah and whatnot. My God. I saw a picture of him and Winona Ryder when they were doing Edward Scissorhands, and he's not in his old Edward Scissorhands makeup shit. He is probably one of the most handsomest men I've ever seen. My God, he is so good looking. And I hate Amber Heard. I think I don't know. I hate people generally, but hearing him testify and about the shit that she did to him, I'm actually glad that this came out, because now we learned that it's not just men that do domestic abuse; it's women too. I mean, they can do that. They can do it.
Yeah, I hate labels like, only a certain group of people are racist, or a certain group of people are ageist, or whatever. It's called being human. All humans are all horrible. Humans are horrible. Mm-hmm. We all take advantage of situations. It doesn't matter what your color, your creed, your religion. It doesn't matter. Humans are horrible. It does not matter if you're a certain color or race or sex or whatever. People are just horrible.
Yeah,
and except for our fans, of course.
Yeah,
they're the best.
Except for us. We're totally fine. Like I would never ever take a drink and throw it in someone's face in a bar in Houston, and then it get punched in the face.
Well, I'm sorry I did that. Are you ever going to forgive me for it?
Well, okay.
Jesus.
Well, you're not welcome back in the bar.
Sorry.
But, okay. So, I've been watching this Johnny Depp Amber, it's addictive. I can't help it. I really...
I cannot watch it. I don't even know what the fuck's going on. It sounds like it's insanity. I mean, it's definitely going to be one of those cases that goes down in the annals of history. But I don't know. I stopped trying to follow it.
Well, she was really, according to him, she was really nasty to him. Like, she would do some really fucked up shit. Like,
but do you think he might be... Again, I don't know. But could they both be kind of in the wrong here? Like, he was an asshole, she was an asshole? And
that's a possibility. I think they were both drunks.
Yeah.
I think...
Well, he would drink... I forgot how much he would spend a week on wine. It was something ridiculous.
Yeah. But I think that you have different types of drunks, and she was not a good drunk, and he was a good drunk. Like he testified that he went to take...
They were probably doing whippets and stuff like that.
Yeah, he took a shower, and she tore the door down or something while he was trying to hold it. Yeah, no, he went in the bathroom.
Tore the door down to the bathroom or the shower?
He went in the bathroom to get away from her to take a shower, and when he went in there, she tried getting at him, and he had to hold the door closed and she started like pounding on the door and pushing the door in.
She doesn't look like she would be that strong, but maybe she is.
I haven't heard this, but from what I've read, he testified that she shit on his pillow.
His bed? Yeah, I heard about the shit on the bed thing. Yeah, I did.
You know, that's bad. That's really fucked up.
I mean, some people like that stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's a fetish.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Johnny Depp does not like it. But I'm just going to say I like it. You know, we're all equal. I'm really glad to hear that, I'm not one of those men's rights people that doesn't like Mad Max Fury Road. That was
what a great film.
That was a thing. But it's
what's his name? Tom
Hardy. Tom Hardy.
Hardy. Yeah, he's nuts. I mean, without a doubt. But that is a great film.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's a great film, by the way.
It is. It is. I agree.
And I tried to go to the movie theater with you one time. And you're like, no, I don't feel like going.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. And I deserved it.
I bought that movie a couple of times.
Yeah.
I bought it on Blu-ray. I bought it on 4K. I bought the Chrome edition. By the way, highly recommended.
Yeah. So, Mad Max Fury Road is excellent. Unless you're my parents, when they were over here, I showed it to them. And one of them said to me, Sean, it's been 20 minutes. No one said a word in this movie so far. Like, what the fuck? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to juggle for you? Do you want me to... What? How do I entertain you? Nobody's talked so far. I don't like this.
Okay, so let's get back to Murder, She Wrote.
Should we fast forward to the murder?
I know. We've been talking for over an hour, and we haven't even gotten to a murder. I mean, this is Murder, She Wrote.
She did write that, yes.
Yeah, so Walter decides he's going to be a thug, and he's going to break it. Now, again, this is the guy who's gone straight.
Hold on.
Yep,
I have to turn on my app for political correctness. Let me check. Can you say thug? Computer says no. Can't say thug anymore.
Why? What's wrong with thug?
It's racist.
It's racist? Yeah. Okay.
So please use another term, sir. Thank you.
He's a Goomba. How about that?
He's a Goomba. All right. He's a Goomba. This guy's a Goomba. Well,
is that better? Yeah. Is that appease your Chicago sensibilities?
It's not Chicago. And by the way, none of these people from Chicago are from Chicago. You can tell by their accents. They're either from Boston or New York. If they were from Chicago, they'd be like, I'm going to come over there to Maine. I'm going to put a cap
They would have a slice of Chicago pizza in one hand and an orange Julius in the other, right?
No, we don't have orange Julius.
Oh, no?
I remember years ago when I used to work for technical support for Xerox for their fax machines on the phone.
Wow.
This guy called in from the Bronx, and he wants someone to come out and fix his fax machine. And he's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Okay, what's your address?" Blah 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 blah. And I said, "See, a perfect story is ruined by this liquid filth." No, literally by liquid filth. Anyway, I was working.
It's more of a mucusy, sticky.
No, stop, sir. So I was working, for this guy calls from the Bronx. He's like, my back. I'm like, okay, sir. So your address is this. Is there a suite or a room number? And he goes, yeah, it's on floor 2. And then he goes,
floor 2.
There are no suites in the Bronx. I remember. And one time, I called a guy. He was from New York. I didn't call him. He called here. I said, "Sir, your machine is not under warranty, so you're going to have to pay $195 to have a technician to come out there and fix your fax machine." You know what this guy said? I swear to God, this is the best. He goes, "Oh my God, that's the cat's ass." Oh my
Can I ask you a
God,
question?
That's the cat's ass.
Can I ask you something?
What's that, sir? What?
So, me bringing up Orange Julius...
Hold on.
Made you think of why that story?
I don't know. I'm a little bit hammered, Steve. Oh my God, that's the cat's ass. Do people listen?
That probably happened
That
probably happened 30 years ago, and you still remember it to this day.
So there's somebody somewhere like, oh, they're doing a podcast about deadly assets. I must listen to this. And then they listen to this shit. And do they still listen to it? Seriously? Like, or are they like...
I don't understand it. I don't, but they apparently love it,
yeah.
So shows
we're
you what
gonna
I
keep
know.
doing it.
Okay, so Walter, who's not quite a thug, breaks into the Hall of Records to find the money. And he uses a crowbar, strangely enough. I mean, it's just... Why couldn't he get Libby to let him in? And why did he have to break in?
Exactly. And where did crows drink before there were crowbars? Really?
And so Garrett has been shadowing him this whole time, and he bumps into Oscar, and Oscar knocks him out.
Why?
I guess because they've had a run-in with each other before. They recognize each other.
But there's no reason to be so unprofessional as to knock him out. I mean, come on.
And so Oscar goes inside to take care of Walter, and someone knocks him out. He's killed. Someone brained him with a hammer. But we don't know who. It's a mystery, because we finally have... I mean, I feel like we're 3/4 of the way through the show when we finally get our murder.
Yeah. There is a murder in Murder, She Wrote, right?
Yeah.
So, I didn't expect him to die, by the way. I didn't think it would be Oscar. I thought it would be... I wasn't sure who it was going to be, but I'm like... And I wasn't... I've gotten over that point where I'm like, okay, when's the murder going to happen in your Murder, She Wrote show? I've gotten over that point, so keep going. I'm sorry.
So Jessica then visits Lomax to kind of say, hey, this is what I know. I know there's more to this than, him stealing government papers. There's Goombas here in town. There's something going on. And anyways, your thoughts so far?
Oh, I don't really have any thoughts. We get to see Charlie keeps visiting Jessica. You just said your thoughts, so you could segue into me talking, so you could blow your nose. But no, Charlie brings Jessica donuts, jelly donuts, and Seth is excited.
He does love his donuts.
And he's like, "Oh, he's trying to kill me," and And by the way, Seth in this episode, there's a moment, and they show it. I don't know if you watched it on Peacock, I think, and I watched the DVD. The DVD, by the way, for some reason on this one was horrible. It looks like it was transferred from somebody's old VHS copy. And when they do tonight on Murder, She Wrote, they show, "You mean my birthday party?" I didn't do it justice. I sounded like a...
No, you did a pretty good job, actually. That's pretty cool.
He shouts it out, and it's sort of like an English accent, like, birthday party! Seth is just totally obsessed with this, as well as his bow ties. And he's also really upset at Charlie because Charlie hit his car. Whatever, dude. Whatever.
He's also upset that Jessica left him. I mean, he was trying to make some headway with that relationship.
Yeah. You know what I hate? I hate people. Well, first of all, I hate people. There's
right,
no...
We established that.
I hate people. And if you want to see the best presentation of that, watch the last episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, where somebody does a presentation of that. But Seth hates everyone. But if you ever been in a fender bender with someone, you are out of the room, aren't you? You're taking his shit. You're pouring on their cocktail.
No, I'm right here. What are you talking about? Yes, I have been in a fender bender. Why?
And it's not the most pleasant experience. And sometimes it's your fault, sometimes it's their fault. But there's no reason to be a complete fucking asshole about it. And the last time I was in a fender bender, and my insurance did go up, I was with this guy, and I think I backed into his Cadillac. I don't know. He had an older, expensive car, and he's like, "Look, you dented the thing." I'm like, "I don't see it." He's like, "Oh, it's the bumper," and then I'm like, "Oh, I see it now." And it's like, "Sir, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Only you care. Are you going to drive around?" And people are going to be like, "Oh, well, that person doesn't know how to... It's got a dent in there." No, it doesn't matter. You're going to take the check from Progressive, which is my insurance company. This is not a commercial. And you're going to buy some, I don't know what with it. Steve, I fucking hate people so much.
Okay. Yes, I got that from you.
So
where were we? You keep
Jessica
distracting
goes
me.
to.
Well, no. So Walter asked Libby to, I guess, take the cash to a hiding place, Benson's cabin or something like that. Isn't that right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so he confronts. Then he later goes. He said, "I'm going to meet you there." But Walter goes and visits Lomax, and at the time, Lomax and the mob boss are kind of having it out, and so he interrupts, and then that's when Metzger kind of catches everybody in the process.
Okay, yeah, and then
and they arrest Walter, and they let the others go.
Yeah, as usual, every episode of Murder, She Wrote has somebody innocent being arrested. In this case, it's Walter, whose grandmother, or it's maybe his mother, happens to be a friend of Jessica's, and every time...
No, it was his grandmother. Yeah, he was an orphan, yeah.
Every time...
Did you watch this?
Every time somebody wrongly gets arrested, it's not because, but they're usually a friend or family member of Jessica's, blah, 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 blah.
So let's get to the waterfall moment when Jessica finally pieces it all together.
Yes, please, yes.
We got to mention, by the way, Celia. There's a scene where Celia is cutting some cardboard.
Oh, wait, I'm glad you mentioned
that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So we see her cutting with that cutting board. Now, my suspicions are heightened because if she were to get that cutting board, she would have had to get it out of that filing cabinet, which she shouldn't have been able to get in there because that was a government office next door. So, and she even makes a statement later when she's talking to Harvey, where Harvey's saying, "Mom, you just let up on Libby, let her live her life," and she goes, "No! I am trying to protect you. I want you two to have a better life than I ever had."
All right.
And so she's got motive here. She wants her kids to be better off. She wants them to have money.
Right.
Never have to worry about finance. She's got the cutting board. How'd she get the cutting board? She somehow... So if she would have gotten the cutting board, she would have seen the bag of cash. So I'm already lining up, even though they're not really pointing at her just yet. In my mind, Celia is the killer, and she would kill for her kids. She would do what she needs to do for those children.
Yes, you and I were exactly aligned. In fact, I texted you. I said, "Steve, I got it all figured out. It's Celia. The cutting board is the clue." And they do this thing when they're in the gift shop or antique shop or whatever you call that fucking place. She's cutting stuff, and they actually cut and show a close-up of her cutting the material. And I'm like, that's a clue. That's a clue, and that's a huge problem with Murder, She Wrote. They do that a lot.
And she's also socially awkward because she holds a grudge for 4 years on Jessica. I already don't like her.
Yeah.
So I know it's her. It's got to be her.
Yeah. I actually thought at the beginning that it's one of those three people. It's her son, or her daughter. And then I focused on her. It's got to be her. It's like, okay, it's so obvious.
Well, from those things I just... Yeah, from everything I just told you, that I think leads to her. And it's not that, like, sometimes the show will steer you specifically towards a person, kind of as a red herring. The show didn't do that with her. She's in the background the whole time. And to me, she was not the obvious person, but there were just subtle little clues here, in one scene, a little scene here and another, that kind of like, yeah, that adds up. She would be the killer.
And her motive is simply kind of insanity, really, because
she wanted a better life for her kids.
I mean that's why William Shatner killed that guy in that episode of Columbo, because he thought his daughter would have a better life.
Right,
speaking of Butterfly and Shades of Grey.
Butterfly, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. She would have done it for her kids. Maybe she would have done it. I don't know. Turns out she's not the killer. Spoiler.
Nope. We're both wrong.
Yeah. And I actually texted you.
So
I know who it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So the scene where Garrett is now waiting for Jessica at her house. He breaks in. He's been waiting for her, and he's starving. So Jessica goes, well, look, there's an apple over in the fruit basket. Grab yourself, and the knives are in the drawer. And you see him cut that apple, and that's the watershed moment for her. She's like, I know who did it. From that moment. How she went to poor Harvey, who is the killer. That's the son. Celia's son and Libby's brother. The guy that you said has the eyes that are too close. Maybe that's why he's the killer. His eyes are just too close. But yeah, so he's the one that discovered the bag when he was moving the paper cutter, and he thought he could get away because it was $900,000. He thought he could get away with it. So
okay,
and yeah,
okay. So I'm trying to piece this together because I'm trying to think: was I not paying attention that well? Maybe I didn't watch the episode like you did, but why was Harvey at the office on the night of the murder?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And
did he follow Walter?
Why would he follow Walter? There's no. So he has the $900,000. Wait.
Yeah, now I'm confused. Who had the $900K at that point?
I guess it was Harvey. I guess.
Huh. Yeah.
I don't know. And you know what? I don't want to I know you like to, keep the opinions of the episode till the end, but I don't know. And I couldn't figure out, I was a little bit day drinking watching this, and I'm like, wait a minute, did I miss something? I have to go back. And also, when Walter explains how he put the money in the drawer with the paper cutter, he never says there's a paper cutter there. And later on at the end, Jessica says, Walter said he put it in the paper cutter. No, he didn't, Jessica. He didn't say that. He didn't say that. We just see him put the...
and she wasn't there to know that.
Yeah. So...
Was she?
No, she wasn't. See, this is the only reason that we have like 14 reviews, or maybe it's 21. I don't remember. I think it's 21. It's 22 now.
I'm sick, Sean. I'm
sick. Oh, good for you. Anyway.
All right. So we get to see the surprise party. Seth gets two horrible paintings from Jess and Metzger. Oh my God! Seriously, how much did those paintings cost? $5? I mean, it's just.
And they're horrible paintings. They're horrible.
They're horrible. Yeah, they're not good. So out of the 14 invited, only I counted 9 showed up.
Yeah, my grandma, way back when she was, still alive, she decided to take a painting course, and she gifted my mother and father with this horrible painting.
Oh no! That they have to hang it.
Exactly. It's like,
at least every time she comes over, they have to put it on the wall.
Yeah. Yeah. They put it in the basement. Not in the basement, like in storage. They literally hanged it in the basement. Like, because we had a thing down there.
A ghost?
Not a ghost, but, well, maybe a ghost.
Oh. Okay. And so Walter gets off scot-free. Whoever's not going to press charges for him stealing $900,000. Libby, happily ever after, even though her brother is going to be in prison for the rest of his life. It's a happy ending. I mean, Walter will go on. He'll continue to star his acting career as a Rob Lowe lookalike. And what else? That's happy ever after.
Yeah, that's it. The end. That's it.
It would make so. I wish it was the mother, not poor Harvey.
But when you think about it, like, as watching it objectively, when you watch it, Harvey is just this tacked-on character that is sort of like, he has nothing to do with the plot, but hey, he's the murderer, and that's what happens with this show. Sometimes we have a character who has nothing to do with anything. He's just like extraneous. He has, he just happens to be Celia's son.
Yeah, like he's a not even a background character. He's a background of the background character. He's Libby's brother, and he just has a few lines here and there. There's nothing that makes you think that he would, like, he's desperate for money, or I don't know. There's just no reason for him to do that. Like I said, I think the mother had a better better motive. Thank you, than Harvey.
All right, with that, what are we going to rate this thing from?
So I want to rate it out of 1 out of 14 party invitees.
All right, who goes first? I know I ask you this every time when I go first, so do I go first?
Yes, that's right. You go first, yes.
Steve, sir.
Sean.
Did not like this one. Complete horrible mystery. The only things that were fun in this episode were the Seth stuff and talking about his birthday party. Those were the only things. I'm going to agree with you with everything you said. I don't understand what he was doing. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, seriously, it's bad. It's bad. It's lazy writing. When you write this shit and you step back, and by the way, when I say shit, I'm talking about my own stuff sometimes. But when you stand back and you look at it and you say, well, that's shit. I gotta take that out because that doesn't make... Nobody did that with this. There was no proofreading. It doesn't make any sense why he's the killer, what he was doing there, so on. So out of 14, I'm going to give this a 6, I think.
6.
There's also another thing that bothered me about this, and that's the music. They relied very, very heavily on jazz. There's a scene when we first are introduced to Charlie. They do this fucking thing that I hate. They did it in Columbo in one episode too, I think, where the camera is like on the ceiling. It's got a far shot of him sitting at his desk with a bottle of whiskey, and the ceiling fan is going round and round, but it's not going round and round enough to cool anything. It's like when you have margaritas, it's going about around as much as when you have margaritas at, some poolside. Like, the fan's not doing anything. That annoyed me. Along with the jazz score, I didn't like. I don't know. The best thing I could pull out of this is the Seth, Jessica, Metzger talks, so that's why I gave it. What did I say? I think it's 6 out of 14. Yeah, that's 6. Fair. Okay. But it doesn't work as a mystery. The only good thing it does is that, this person is the murderer. It surprised me with who the murderer was, and I was pleased with that. But then I was like, wait a second. So. Yeah, that's what I have. Sir? You
right.
couldn't.
Okay. I didn't want to do it while you were talking. Okay. Give me a break. All right. So I agree with you. There were some really fun bits about this. I agree that the scenes, and I like that it took place in Cabot Cove. We see the interactions between Seth and Metzger, the surprise party. That was enjoyable to me. That was, I don't know if it's because it's character building, but I found it funny when Seth gets the jelly donuts, even though you don't see him eat it. It just, I don't know. I find him funny.
It's cute. It's really cute. It's yeah.
I had a really good time with it. I like the even though this character was introduced in a previous season, Charlie Garrett. I liked him. I thought he was a fun character. He was kind of on the nose. He was a wise ass. I would like to see this character again. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to when we see him for the first time in Miami. Hopefully he comes up again. But I almost felt like I said earlier that it could be a spin-off character, but I liked what he did. I did not enjoy this at all outside of those things. I didn't notice the music or anything like you did, but like with Walter Perry, the guy who stole the money, like he was just a piece of shit. I don't how he got off. He got completely off, and him and Libby both got completely clean away from everything, from all the shit they did. They should have gotten into some trouble.
Yeah, no,
but it was just a saccharine-filled, sugar happy, joy ending at Seth's birthday party, and then they're cuddling in the corner. Yeah, it really should have been the mother.
Yeah, no,
and the mother's a bitch for not showing up for the party in the first place. God, what a cunt.
My mother told me
she's just a bitter. She was holding a grudge for all those. I really wanted her to be the killer, and it would have made sense.
Yeah, she should have been
for the storyline. It would have.
I absolutely agree with you. Yeah,
but for Harvey, no.
Yeah.
So, I was gonna rate it a little higher than you did, but I think in protest, I'm going to match your score of 6 out of 14. Yeah. I did not like this. I did not enjoy it. There were some great character development moments, and I liked Charlie, but outside of that, this was not a good episode.
It wasn't good. And I think this is the first time, or the second time, that we haven't liked an episode. The first time would be that Lot 7 one, the Psycho one. So stupid. I think that one might be worse than this, but this doesn't make any sense. It's bad, as a mystery. Anyway,
yeah, we both hated that one. So we rated it out of 2,641. You gave it 992, and I gave it a 900. So that's less than half.
And also, the DVD transfer was horrible. When you watch it and you see the credits, the names come up. There's static in the names, in the font of the names, and also when it fades to black, sometimes you can see bars going up, like literally as if it was recorded off a TV. So I'm just kidding with that.
I didn't notice that on Peacock.
No, they don't have it on Peacock, probably. So, yeah.
All right. So, get those cats out, Sean.
All right.
That's Wheel of Fortune of whatever.
Wait, where's my glasses? Oh, here they are. Okay.
Get the cats to bring them to you.
Literally. This is a phrase, when you're... Folks, you'll know when you're in your 40s, where's my glasses will be a daily saying. Where's my glasses? I can't do. Where's my glasses? All right.
And can I get a refill on my prescription of Viagra?
I just do it online, Steve.
Okay.
Blue Chew, which we don't have enough downloads to have commercials, but hey, yeah, Blue Chew. If you want to send us some free shit, we'll test them out.
Oh, okay. You're asking for unused medication.
No, yeah, send it to us. We'll test them out, with porn and stuff. And
I'll let you do that.
We'll let you know how well it works.
I'll trade you one of the pink and yellow ones for my blue and green. How about that?
They're all blue, Steve.
What's that from? That's from a movie.
I don't know. Boogie Nights? Have you ever seen Boogie Nights, by the way?
Nope.
Jesus Christ. See,
all right. Are the cats out yet?
This is the thing.
Where are the cats?
See, Steve, wait, hold on. I know you're waiting for me to choose, or to not choose, but
for the Wheel of Fortune.
You need to see good things, Steve. And this is one of the reasons I like shit we watch Netflix, because you don't see good things. You've never seen Boogie Nights. It is an excellent movie.
It has Mark Wahlberg.
Yes, it does, and Burt Reynolds, and a bunch of other people that I really like, and it's a great movie. And it's a movie set in the 70s about a bunch of people who do porn. And I know that sounds awful, just like the Satanic Temple sounds awful, which you don't like, but not the Church of Satan, the Satanic Temple, but
okay, you're going off.
Yeah, I know.
Other funny trail. So let's reel you back in.
All right,
bring in the cats.
Okay, hold on 1 second. They're bringing in the thing right now. Okay. All right, the cats are here. We are going... Cats, can you please...
Can I scratch this one?
Say again?
Can I scratch this one? Is she okay if I scratch her?
Yeah, she's fine. She's totally fine.
Ooh.
All right, cats. All right, spin the wheel now!
Okay.
All right, so we are going to watch The Scent of Murder.
The Scent of Murder.
Jessica's friend, Dr. Seth Hazlitt, takes her to visit his wealthy cousin's plantation. But the trip takes an unexpected turn when their host is killed and the doctor becomes co-owner of the estate with the victim's young fiancé.
Oh.
So it's one of those field trip episodes.
All right, well, we got Seth in it, so we get a little bit more character development.
There's no character.
Okay. All right, Sean, till next time.
All right. Say goodnight, Steve.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Cabot Cove Confab. If you've enjoyed it, please leave us a favorable review on Apple Podcasts. Also, feel free to reach out to us on Twitter at Cabot Cove Confab or email us at cabotcoveconfab@gmail.com.